Hello you guys, and welcome to a brand new game. It's called Beetle Uprising, and it's actually, I hadn't heard of this game until just yesterday, but it is really cool. I spent some time messing around in it already. It is by Iocane Games here, hopefully I'm saying that right, and it's really cool. So basically what it is it's a simulator game. It's also a real-time strategy game. And it deals with beetles, and I think that's just so cool. And there's genetics and everything. You know I'm always excited about genetics. But yeah, I think I can explain it better just jumping in. So we're gonna go ahead, we'll start a new game. We'll start from the beginning here, not mess around with my test save. And yeah, okay, we'll go ahead and do this. So there's this little intro video. So it says, long and far did the Matriarch travel to find us a new home. She fought for our future. There's some of the enemies that you may face, and it gave her courage. Wave after wave of enemies fell before her. And when the enemy committed all to the battle, so did she. And with her passing, I think that is an actual ability you can get in the game too. We rise and take our place in this world. I think you can actually have beetles that blow up, or I don't know if it's at this point in the game or not, but I'm pretty sure you can. So this is the help screen. To get here later, hit escape and hit the help button. For now, check out an overview of the game to get a handle on what Beetle Uprising is all about. I'll probably skim through some of this just in case some of you guys are gonna play the game yourself. It's on Steam. It's like $10 on Steam, and I would really suggest you check it out because it's very fun, and it's also very addicting. I logged quite a bit of time in this already, just mucking around with it yesterday and goofing off trying to figure out what I was doing. So Beetle Uprising. You are in control of a fledgling beetle nest left to you by the Matriarch who died clearing it for you. Your goal is to conquer this beautiful abandoned lot. You'll start in your home nest. This is a safe place for you to breed and raise your beetles. You'll need to care for your beetles, collecting food and supplies by doing tasks in the abandoned lot. Selectively breeding ever stronger, faster, healthier beetles is the key to your success. Your initial beetles are weak. Completing missions will give you eggs with new genetics. Breed the new beetles with existing ones. It's only the map of a vacant lot, but is the world to your beetles. From the map, you will send your beetles on tasks to gather needed supplies for your nest. Superior and happy beetles succeed more often. Missions are a real-time strategy engagement on a 3D map. There are tricks and tactics to get the most out of your beetle swarms, but sometimes you just need better beetles. If your beetles cannot beat the foe, try going back and breeding for the stats that you need that you think they need to succeed. There's a quick reference, so this kind of just gives you the overview of it. There's controls, and there's the manual here, and it'll pop up in the Steam overlay browser, which I don't have that enabled here, so I won't show you that right here. But if you guys have the game, you always know you can access the menu. You can close help, but you can get it back by, I think, oops, there's a pop-up active right now, so let me read that. The beetles need items placed in the nest. Just 5. Click this button to view your inventory of items. From there, you can select items that will improve your beetles' happiness and health. So by hitting this, you can always view help down here, and that'll bring up the same menu we were in before. So you can access the manual through there. So we have 2 beetles already. I do not think there is a gender system either, so it's kind of just whatever beetles you have can breed with whatever other beetles you have. Do beetles in the wild have genders? I think so. I don't actually know. I'm pretty sure they do. I haven't actually researched that much about beetles yet. So we have Kikatog and Ozigog. So what I'm going to actually do right here, though, is I'm going to select both of them, and I'm going to click and edit, and I'm going to mark them as G1. So that kind of helps keep track of the generations. That was something I figured out pretty quickly, is it helps to know which beetles are your generation 1 ones, and from there you can breed for better stats. So if we look at these, we can see a little bit here that we have, so the select beetle strength. So you have strength, you have quickness, you have regeneration, health, perception, ferocity, and armor. And all these stats do different things. You can go through and read them if you want. I'm not going to read through each stat in detail here, but basically you can see the ones with the red ones are, I believe, below average. The ones with the yellow are above average, and the ones that with the white are about average. So you can see we have so we're on Ozahog right here. So you can see the stats are fairly well balanced out. So the ones that are up for Kikatog are more likely to be the ones that are down or neutral. And because of that, we could technically breed these guys and get one that would have all of them up, I believe. Yeah, that should be possible. Yeah, that should be possible. So that's one thing we're going to want to do here. Let's come over here. This is how we view our items. Okay, we can double click an item and move it into the nest. So you want to put out these guys have already eaten all of their food. So we're going to stick a lot of this out. I'm not going to put all of it out because I think it does expire given enough time. But that way they'll have something to eat. We've got leaves, we've got some toys, we've got grooming items. Everything has a duration that shows how long it lasts. And so like you can see if we click this bed of leaves, if we, okay, it's not actually going to show us. No, I want to see it. It's not going to actually show us the thing unless we're going to, oh, here, it shows us over here, that's right. I always forget where everything is because I'm not fully used to the controls yet, but that's just a matter of time. So, for 6, so the duration of the selected item in hours, minutes, and seconds of simulation time before it decays into trash. Duration only counts when you place an item down in the nest, and the inventory items never go bad. So that is based off this time scale. So we have been running it for 2 minutes and 42 seconds. And so that's pretty good. But the first thing I want to do is we want to look at, so we can see our beetles here. I forgot what the tutorial wanted us to do next, but I think this is it. So, it paused simulation time every time we leave the nest. So every time we go to one of these screens, every time we go out of the nest, it's going to pause the game for us so that we don't have beetles starving at home when we're out in the field. So, we can turn off auto pause and completely manage simulation time by disabling it from the options, but I kind of like having it because that's it's kind of nice. So, let's see, we can breed these guys. There's also, you can see, okay, 2 parents are automatically chosen, but you can choose which beetles to breed by clicking a parent slot and selecting a beetle from the list at the bottom. So we don't actually have any other beetles, so we're not going to do that. Then we can click breed. We also have the goop down in the corner here. It's used to power breeding and swarm making for missions. So you want to have a lot of this on hand. And we're going to breed these guys as our 2 Gen 1s. So we'll go ahead and breed them. And I'm not seeing any super good stats. I think, okay, so we've got, all of them have at least 1 below average. I can tell you for sure it's not going to be this one, because we have 2 reds and only 1 yellow. Or this one. This one has the most yellows, which means it's a superior stat. Yeah, each of these arrows indicate that a beetle has a superior or inferior stat relative to the rest of your collection. So, this one is pretty good, but also has a lot of bad stats. So, I think it looks like at most we're going to get 2 good stats and 1 bad stat. So, it's going to be either this one or this one. So what do we have relatively? This actually was not a very good set of breeding compared to some of the other ones I've gotten. But again, it kind of is, it can be a huge matter of luck what you actually end up getting. So we've got Ozakog here. And we have 35 and 42. So 41 is actually really close to Kikatog. 28 is also pretty close to Kikatog, but not quite as good. 32, 29 is a little further off from that. 36, again, a little bit close, or a little bit further off from that. It's 3 points off as opposed to just 1 or 2. And then we have 22, which is the same as Kikatog. Excuse me. And we have 38, which is actually identical to Ozahog, but it's the bad stat, the worst stat. And 21 is not bad, so that's a pretty decent beetle. We're going to get better ones as time goes on. We have at least less red stats, but we also don't have as many of the yellow stats, and the yellow stats are the ones we want. Then we also have, we had another one here. So 36 is pretty bad compared to Kikatog with the higher stat. 24, also pretty bad compared to Kikatog's higher stat. 29 is decent and the same as the one we have up here, but again, still 3 points off of that. 34 is the low stat. 22 is the superior stat, so that's the same as Kikatog. And 44 is actually higher than either of these two. And then 20 is not bad. So I almost wanted to keep the higher stat. We have a 45 here too, so you can get really high stats. But I think we're going to keep this one because this one has generally better stats. I tend to be fairly safe in my breeding here. I'll try and keep the ones that have the least low stats, even if it means missing out on some really good higher ones, because I think over time you can eventually breed those back in. And we can retain the starter beetles for quite some time as our nest grows. So we're going to keep these guys. And this is Ethizel, and we're going to mark with G2 because this is a second generation beetle. And let's go ahead, I think we're going to do a couple other breedings here. We'll probably do one more breeding at least. And we only have 2 more slots, so we might want to save one for when we actually go out to battle. So we'll breed these guys again. Ooh, this is looking a little bit better. I like this one. We do have one bad stat, but I like the number of superior stats that we have. So this is fairly far off of the superior stat that Kikatog has. And this is actually not that far off of the superior stat that Ozahog has. And these are all superior. None of them are higher, though. And then, oh, this one's higher, actually. So this is a 23, so we're going to keep this one. And that will be the start, I think, of our next one, because now we have 3 superior stats here, and hopefully, so it was Soguna, we will also mark with the G2, just to make sure we know. So let's go back to the nest, and these 2 are new. They're going to go rest and heal up, because you can see they're both low on health already. We got a lot of experience there. But if we sort, because we can sort by clicking these buttons, so Kikatog still has the most strength, and the most quickness. And we have a Suguna. We have Ozahog still has the most health. Ethizel is still there. Kikatog still has the most ferocity. And Suguna has the most armor. So Suguna is a pretty good beetle. But we're probably going to want to breed some of our Gen 1s back in and possibly breed them down to the Gen 2s. There will be some inbreeding in this. I don't think there's any sort of mechanisms to discourage inbreeding at this point that I know of. I haven't run into any at this point. But, and I don't know if it's a planned feature or not. But in order to do that, if we're breeding for certain stats, then we'll probably end up doing some inbreeding just because that's sort of how this is going to end up working out. But with that in mind, inbreeding actually is, like, if you look at purebred dogs, that's how those breeds came to be, is mostly through inbreeding. And, it's not necessarily a positive thing because it can lead to, you don't end up with a lot of genetic diversity, and so if an animal has a certain genetic proneness and you're breeding with others in the family that have that same genetic proneness, you're likely to get those traits, whether it be good traits, like the ones that people are looking for with the breeding. I'm also going to try to keep enough bedding down for everybody to rest if they need to. But you're also looking at, so like, okay, if you look at German Shepherds in real life, they have a proneness to hip dysplasia. And that is a genetic proneness that got passed down with the breed because when they're first developing it, probably some of those original dogs had a proneness to it. And that's why. We'll zoom out a little bit so we can see more of what's going on. So one of our new beetles has grown up. I think that's, yeah, that's Suguna. I think they both have, actually, yes. So I think we're going to go ahead and try and take on this first thing here. So what beetle do we want to use? So we're going to create a swarm of copies. So this beetle actually won't be the one fighting. It's going to make a bunch of copies. You can control how many units there's going to be, but it'll cost you the amount of goop. So that's why it's nice to have a lot of goop. Oh, that's right, we can change it from down here. I always forget, I'm still not entirely accustomed to the menus yet, but I think that is going to be just a matter of getting more used to it. So I think strength, we're not going to use Ozahog. We might use Kikatog, because we might... we'd have lower health and we'd have lower regeneration. Although, I don't know. Then we'd also have higher perception and higher ferocity and lower armor. There's no chance of death on failure, so we might want to use Kikatog. Because, yeah, I think strength is going to be really important. Health is pretty important, but Kikatog doesn't exactly have a lot of health either. I think we're going to want to use Kikatog because Kikatog has better battle stats. I'm also going to up the strength of the swarm. That's going to cost 50. So we can, I think that's the maximum we have right now. We're going to go ahead and hit begin, and we'll let Kikatog be the one to go battle. And then we should get some other beetles if we do well in this. Okay. So we have our swarm here. So we can click the ground to set the marker. So I think we'll want to come over here probably. So you can see they'll all move towards that marker. You can zoom in and out like this. You can move around with WASD. And then, oh goodness, okay, so shift to ignore enemies while marching to the marker. So usually you don't want to be doing that. And then you have the objectives. So we're going to see, oh, there's beetles coming out of here. So we don't want them to ignore enemies. We actually want them to fight the enemies. And they'll do that right here. So let's let them attack here. And we'll come over here. I saw another beetle this way. We can't rotate the camera, I don't think. Yep, there's another beetle right there. And there's more over here. So I'm going to bring these guys this way because then we should come into contact with some of these other beetles and be able to fight them. So we're probably not going to get the initial objective of having them all in less than 1.5 minutes, but I have been able, on this mission before, I've been able to at least get the 2-star, and I think the 1-star will get easier as we get more powerful, or the 3-star will get easier as we get more powerful beetles. So, but the more stars you get, the better beetle eggs you will get. Alright. I'm probably moving them a little bit more than I have to here. You don't have to tell them everywhere they have to go. And they're running off. It can be a little hard to predict these guys' movements sometimes, and so sometimes they end up running away from you, and you lose them, which is one reason that I've had trouble completing the 3-star, I think. But again, as you get beetles that are faster, that are more perceptive, that are more, okay, so we just lost the ability to get the 3-star. But as you get beetles that are faster, that are more perceptive, that are stronger and can kill the enemies quicker, then you're gonna see it getting easier to finish in the objective times for the 2 and the 3 stars. So let's see, there's like one more beetle running around somewhere, I think. Where'd the beetle go? They can be tricky to spot sometimes. I think we had, is it over here maybe still? Possibly. I'm zoomed out as far as I can go. Sometimes it's a little bit hard to figure out where they went because they hide really well. Oh, here we go. Here's that last one. Oh, we should still be able to make it in the objective time. Okay, let's come up here. Come on, you guys. They're coming. They're not very quick yet, but they will get faster. And here we go. And there we go. So we got 2 stars, so that's not too bad. And we got a weak beetle, and we got a 2 or 3 star. So we got a 3-star beetle. And that'll be good. We got some goop, we got some leaves, we got an apple for food, and we got experience. So that's not too bad. We did pretty well on that one. And that'll be hopefully pretty good here. So now we have to explore the red rocks. We'll let you get some rest because you're tired. Oh, you just kicked someone else. Ow, my goodness. Who did you kick out? That's Ethiziel. Okay. We've got enough space for almost everyone to sleep. So we want someone to go explore the red rocks. We haven't leveled up just yet, but I think I'm going to put our 3-star beetle down and see what we get. So we'll put this guy... Okay, Tantagir is going to be marked as G1. So we have high... let's go back to our beetle view. We have high... regeneration and high health. So that's good because I think we might... Well, no, we have a... Suzuyuna is still pretty good on that. So Tantagir actually didn't give us any stat upgrades that time, but I don't think... Do we get new abilities? Because we can see... So we have... Oh, you can store beetles, too. I didn't notice that the first time. So I think... The look of a beetle includes the genetics to reproduce the looks. Ooh. Okay. So that might be, if we get a really cool looking beetle, we might want to do that. In fact, I kind of like Kikatog's look, so we might want to do that. Oh, that's what the store means. Okay, I'm just not thinking clearly today. So where do we see the attack? So there's a lot of genetic info. So each gene has 2 alleles. And it ranges from 0 to 5 points. So that's how the genetics work, I guess. This is something that I haven't totally understood yet, that I'm still kind of trying to figure out. So the blue line at the end indicates the best line you have for that value in the gene pool. So it can get really complex. If you want to breed super beetles, you're really going to want to look into this view. So even though we have some beetles, so that's not entirely, just because we have the beetles, I'll have to see if you can see this in the breeding view, because I didn't ever get to see it in the breeding view here. But that's how you can get ones that are higher. So 0 to 5 points. So I don't know. So we can look at this is Tontagear, okay. But if we got 2 really good ones, then we'd want to be able to be breeding them. So like, we've got pretty good stats. So let's look at some of our other beetles. Can we switch out? We can switch to Kikatog. I think I am... Oh, you can rotate them with... No, you can switch beetles. I don't think you can rotate them. And you can see they have different looks too. So like, Ozahog is bigger. And I really like Kikatog's looks, so I'm going to actually store those looks. And hopefully... yeah, you can apply them. So you can get the looks and the stats you want on each beetle. So I'm going to keep those. I might also keep Suguna's, because I really like Suguna's looks as well. I'm really fond of these kind of iridescent looking ones, and I think we kind of want to go with that. So, whoa, Suguna has really, really good alleles here for strength. That's actually really good. So that's how you can breed for these super beetles. So you can see we have 37. How does that compare to, is Suguna our highest? No, actually 3rd highest. So if we look at Kikatog, Kikatog has a lot of really good ones as well. Has 4, I think it counts genes on both sides, so it has 7 total, as compared to, I guess, 7 total, so 37 to 40. Because some of the other ones are higher. We got a lot of really low ones here. So that's why we might want to, if we want to breed beetles surely for strength, we might want to breed Suguna with a Kikatog. And then here we also see we've got, we've got the high stat there, and we might want to breed here to get these stats, that if you look on the very, the lower 2 on the left of strength, you can see Suguna did not get the high stats on those, so we might want to breed for that. So you can get really, really detailed with this game, which is super awesome. And I'm really, I hope you guys like this game, because I really want to, I really want to dive in some more. I think it's going to be very, very fun. And, okay, you still need healing. Okay, you're doing a lot better now. So, but yeah, I really hope you guys like this, because it is a very, very cool game. And, yeah, I would love to continue a series on it. But I think we'll send somebody out on exploring, and I'll show just how some of these work. So if we explore the red rocks, you have to head up here. So this shows all the areas around the nest that must be conquered. This is the nest in the bottom right. By exploring areas and completing missions, you can conquer the whole map. So there's icons that you can do. You can gather. It's dangerous, so there's a chance that beetle will be injured or even die while on a task. And then there's combat missions. So we'll come back and redo this one again, because we haven't entirely completed it with the 3 stars, and I'd like to get another good beetle from that. But yeah, so one thing we want to do is we want to be kind of cautious, because there is a 2% chance of death. So I don't really want to use Ephesial necessarily. 20, 50, 52, 57, 28. So we actually don't have any beetles that are very good for that right now. So I might send somebody out to gather, because there's 100% chance on some of these 90, 90, 49. And there's 0% chance of death. So I'm going to send some of these guys out to gather. We'll just do that really fast. And to gather items, does anybody else have a good chance of gathering items? Suguna has the best chance, so we're going to send Suguna out. And then there's a scouting one, and there's no chance of death or injury. So we've got a 64%. I think we'll try send Ephesial out. And so we have a Tantakir and Kikatog here still. So we want to try, let's try and level up before we end the episode here, because this is the first episode. It'll go a little over what I normally do. And we'll let these guys go. And just to kind of speed things up, we have Kikatog. Is that's, oh no, you need a grooming item. Okay, oh, there's a grooming item down, okay. You are resting. I think we can see exactly, 77% health, okay. And they're going to interact, but if we can actually speed up time here, and that'll get the others back quickly. So, hopefully, and Tantakir just grew up. So once we level up, let's get some more nesting material down. We should hopefully get some more. Okay, we got food. Didn't complete that task, and then the last place we look, we got a new task, and we got more experience. So we did not manage to get more nesting material, so I'm not going to put all of this out. I want to kind of save it a little bit until we can get some more beetles out on mission. And in fact, let's see if we can actually do that. Is anybody able to go, okay, there's, what is this? The last place we look, all stones are turned over and we found a stash. Okay. So that can give you bed items, that can give you grooming items, and that can give you toy items, and the same things for these. So, who has the best chance? Probably not you, because you're healing. 66, 69, 87. Okay, we're going to send Ozahog out to well rested. And then I might send somebody else out as well. Let's send Ephesial here. And we can't breed any beetles. I'm going to send somebody here as well. Okay, so Yuna can go out this way because we want to get lots of food. And we have a scouting one as well. Scout for resources. When a beetle attempts an exploration task, it might discover additional sources of food and items. So 44 versus 54. Not very good odds, but we'll still try it because there's no chance of death or injury because it's on our turf. So we'll let Kikatog rest. Okay, we can now have up to 8 beetles in our nest, and we can now save up to 3 beetle appearances. Okay. The rest of that gourd is too big to carry. That will do, beetle. Oh my goodness. For the pumpkin seed. And popcorn. My voice is dying. I'm sorry. Bed of leaves. We got a lot of building blocks, which are kind of cool. And you could build them like a little beetle fort. That'd be neat. And an orange crystal cluster. Those look cool. Alright. Did we get any, do we have any nest items? We have some here. I'm going to put another one down. And I want to put this crystal out because that is really cool looking. Look at that. That's really neat. So now we've leveled up. And let's see. Hopefully they'll be back soon. Failed to complete task, well rested. Oh no. Oh, but completed it. Yay. So we got a bed of grass, leaves, and a bed of grass. And we didn't get... Okay. We've failed a lot of tasks we should have completed. Oh boy. So now that we have more room for beetles, I think I'm not going to put down our 1-star unless we really need to, because we technically do have 1-star beetles somewhere. Back here, yes. But I'm going to try and do some breeding. So I think, let's look at all of our beetles and see which ones have the really good stats. So Kikatog has some really good ones. And I think, was it Suguna? It was Suguna. So I'm going to try and breed Kikatog and Suguna. And see if we can get any good stat beetles out of there. So I think, let's have Kikatog, and we wanted to breed Suguna here. And I think we can click on them here and see their stats up there, and then up there. Okay, so I think that's good. So I'm going to breed these guys. And we're breeding mostly for strength. So we have a 44 strength. I think that's the highest that we have seen so far. If I click it, yes, you can see it. Okay. So you can see, we've got some really good ones. I think we got the bad stat there. And we got the bad stat there. But we've got a lot of them really high. This one we don't have a good stat for, and the ones up here we don't have very good stats for. So this is technically only, I think, 3 strength, because you can see there's ones that look like 1 strength, there's ones that look like 2 strength, there's one that's look like 3, and it says it can be from 0 to 5. In fact, maybe this is only 2, because this could be the 0. So I think this is only 2, because it looks like it goes out all the way there. So, I think, let's see, how does that compare? So we're looking to see if any of them actually have the better stats. So I think we have better stats on some of those. That's the same as Kikatog. And Siguna, actually, no, Siguna has worse stats there, so that was actually better. And the other one that we have that's not maximum for our colony here is that one. So I know I'm saying that one and gesturing to something you guys may not be able to see. You gotta look and see where the tip of the little arrow is. So that's 3, I think, and Siguna, they both have 3. How did we don't have a full one on that bottom one. I don't know how that maybe is a mutation of some kind. So that's not so good. But I think overall, that's a pretty decent beetle strength-wise. What I may start doing is breeding very specifically here. And trying to get the, I guess, have we looked much at the top stats? Because we've got 3 that aren't maxed out. So we did get some that were not so good there. But yeah, so I think we want to probably keep this beetle. Maybe I'll rename the beetles we're breeding for strength right now. So I'm going to keep this one, I think. Because overall, this one has pretty good stats too, though. But I think we're going to keep this one. And a Nisrect, I guess this would be a... this is going to be a... because this is a 1 and 2 generation breeding, it's not a full 3. 3 would be 2 and 2, or this and 2. So, and we're gonna mark, this is part of our strength breeding project. And I wanna, can we rename these guys? No, we can't. Not from, oh yeah, we can name them down, or rename them here. Okay, so this is gonna be, because right now we're working on strength. Oops, I didn't mean to click that. The renaming is right here. Strength. I'm gonna try breeding them. I might try breeding them again, possibly. I don't want to use up all of our slots. You can also, juice a beetle for goop and it destroys the beetle. So if we get a really bad one, we could do that. I don't really like the option though, but we might have to at some point because I don't think there's very low chances of these guys dying naturally. Probably what'll end up happening to a lot of the beetles that have poor stats is they'll get sent off on exploration missions, and if they get eliminated naturally that way, then that'll free up space in the nest. I don't want to have to just straight up kill them, but we might have to. So let's see what happens if we breed these guys again, because the new one is going to be a baby. I want to see if we can get another one. Oh, it's saving. I want to see if I can get another beetle that has pretty good stats. We'll try for these guys again. 42, 41. So we have some pretty good ones here. Let's take a look. We've got, I think, pretty similar stats to... Where's our new one? Probably right... Oh, they don't appear in the breeding menu, do they? Or am I just blind? No, I don't think... Oh, Nisrect is the new one, right? Was that our... It doesn't seem to have saved, I think. Yeah. Let's do 1, 2, G, and then strength. Alright. There we go. That should do that, because yeah. I think this was the new baby we got. So, compared to this one... Let's see how the aloes are changing. So we've got some better stats here. But do we have any that are low on Nisrect that are high on this one? I think we have some, it looks like. Can you see? No, you can only cycle through these ones. You might want to write a lot of stuff down for this game because you can get really detailed into it. So I think this one's pretty good. And comparatively, what you ideally want to see is all of them all those bars maxed out. And eventually what we'll do probably is we'll try to get a max strength beetle, and then we'll try and get a max whatever trait we want to breed for next. And then, we'll work with that. So, and then also let me know, you guys, if you want to see the series continue, and then if you want to see me do some of this stuff off camera and just, like, end up mass breeding beetles and stuff for a while, let me know what you want to see with that. So, let's, I think this one probably, the other one probably is better because the stats are higher as a total. Is this, wait. This one says now 41. I don't know if that means there's display issues or if it's, I thought this one is supposed to be, this is definitely the right beetle. You can't really rotate around, I don't think. Yeah, because there's that beetle too. I don't know. Yeah, I really don't know. Because this one's saying 40, so maybe it gets by default. You know what probably happens? It probably gets by default 1 strength. Because, let's see, 29, 25. Oh. That's, no, those are different. Maybe they get, yeah, I bet they do just get, so if we have a 38 compared to 29, and then a 22 compared to 31, I think they must just get a certain number of stats by default, and that's probably why that's happening. So we have 41 owl totals. Yeah, okay, oh, because genes for other stats might have a side effect on this stat, raising or lowering it, that's probably why. Strength gives a small boost to quickness, and certain quickness genes reduce the beetle's armor bit. Okay, so there's an interplay there. Okay, makes sense. Are these... Oh, no, this is how you change views. Okay. Okay, that makes sense. I'm figuring things out. I think I want to keep this beetle. I think I'm going to keep this one. Zanati, and this is another, 1, 2 generation, and then, strength, part of the strength breeding process. So let's go back, and I want to compare these guys' strengths. So specifically Matriarch and Zanati. So okay, we definitely have 2 lower strengths on Matriarch, or on Zanati, excuse me, and we have 1 lower one there. But these guys, I think between these guys, they actually have max value on all stats, except some of the top ones, and some of the bottom ones. So we probably want to breed Matriarch and Zanati next time, if we get that chance. And I'm not so keen on this brighter look as much, so I think I might want to apply, I'm going to apply this. Yes, because I really like that look. Oh, whoa, I forgot that's changed beetles. So I really like this look, so we'll keep this for Matriarch. And we'll probably breed Matriarch and Zanati. I'm not going to give this one, we'll keep some variety in the looks. I did it again. But for now, we'll I want to try and keep them kind of in this purplish kind of range here, bluish purple. So we'll probably breed Matriarch and Zanati next time if you guys want to see a series go on. So yeah, welcome to this brand new series. I hope you've enjoyed it. Please let me know if you want to see more of this, because this is a really cool game, and I would highly recommend you guys go check it out yourself. It's very, very detailed. It's got a lot to it, and it's a very, very fun game. You can easily log a lot of time into it, I say, as we hit the 40-minute mark for this episode. So yeah, let me know if you guys want to see more, and definitely go check the game out itself. I will include a link to it in the video description here. And yeah, So thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you have enjoyed the episode. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and I will see you guys next time. But until then, this is Jay, over and out.